when you open a newspaper, you might turn to the sports section to read about yesterday's cricket match, or perhaps to the entertainment section to read about an upcoming Bollywood release. Well, when you do, you have different expectations as you approach these different sections of the newspaper. That's because they're written in different genres or types of writing. The Hebrew prophets of the Old Testament, specifically the writing, or what we call classical prophets, used many different types of writing as well. So when we approach these different parts of the prophets, we really should come with different expectations about what we'll find. The Hebrew prophets wrote songs. They wrote poetry. They also wrote speeches of salvation. We call these oracles of salvation, where God pronounces that he will deliver his people, or perhaps the opposite, that he will judge the enemies of his people. We also find judgment speeches. These are called oracles of judgment, where God pronounces judgment either on his people or on one of their enemies. We find historical narrative. This is a short episode of the recording of events that took place in the prophet's lifetime. Or we also find what we might call prophetic drama. This includes the prophet himself. God commands the prophet to do some action. Often it's very obscure to us. And when the prophet obeys, his action symbolizes some aspect of God's relationship with his people, or perhaps with the nations surrounding. We also find lament or mourning. We find law. The prophets record when God revises the laws of the Torah of Moses in the Pentateuch. And the prophets might revise those and record new laws. Finally, we find covenant lawsuit. This is where the people have broken the covenant that God has made with them, and God declares a lawsuit against them and holds them accountable to judgment for breaking his covenant. Now, I hope that as you learn more about these genres and approach the prophets and the different genres found therein, that this will enrich your understanding of the meaning of the Old Testament prophets.